I love making elixirs, so today we're going to do a video on the simplest way that you can make an in-home crystal elixir. You want to put some thought into what type of elixir you want to make. What is your end goal? Do you just want to make an elixir using one crystal, or do you want a certain effect, like inner peace, or increased intuition, or letting go of old patterns? So for this elixir today, I have a clear quartz cluster, a blue-green tourmaline with kunzite, an amethyst point, and a druzy Ahawaiian quartz. So the intention behind this elixir would be to balance the heart and the mind from a very spiritual place to bring inner peace. So what you are attempting to do when you make an elixir is to charge the water with the energy of the crystals. That way, when the elixir is done, you can ingest the water, bringing the energy of the crystals inside of your physical body. I do not recommend putting crystals directly in water. It can be toxic. Now, sure, there might be some crystals that you could put in water, but I'm not going to recommend any of them to you. I'm going to recommend the indirect method. So how do you infuse the crystal energy into the water? I'm going to take this bowl and cover it. That way the energy is contained in a closed space. Now, in addition, if you'd like to add other intentions, you can write them down on a piece of paper and insert them into the bowl. In fact, I would recommend sticking them underneath the jar of water. If you're not familiar with how this works, water is highly programmable. Now, I recommend doing this during a full moon. Now, you can put it outside directly in the full moon, or you could maybe put it in a window or somewhere in your house. You may want to start a few days before, let it charge and sit over the course of the full moon, and then a few days after the full moon is finished. You can also leave this out for an extended period of time, not necessarily in concurrence with the full moon, and it will work. It just may take longer than if you charge it during the full moon. Some people like to add a pyramid. The pyramid is known in sacred geometry to be a mass accelerator, so this will bring an extra charge to your elixir. You even could be fancy and get a pyramid style container, but it's not necessary. You also could experiment with other sacred geometry shapes. It doesn't necessarily have to be a pyramid. So when the elixir is finished charging, I recommend adding a few drops of brandy to it to preserve it. Not a lot, just a few. Now, you want to store your elixir in any sort of jar you want. Make sure you label it with what exactly you put in it, its intention, and if you used a moon phase. Give it a date so you know how old it is. So this, for example, is one of my professional elixirs that also contains a flower essence. It's a marigold purple scapolite made during the Scorpio new moon of 2021. It's really important to label it because you think you will remember them, but you won't. To administer the elixir, you can also use a dropper jar. I like to use anywhere between 4 and 25 drops and just put it right on the tongue. And you can use it several times a day or once a day, however much you need it. I hope this really helps you and you enjoy making your elixirs. Always experiment around and make it yours. Go do some research of your own to find alternative ways to make elixirs. You can also add in alternative ingredients. Don't feel you need to use what I used here. Have a wonderful time with it and add a new tool to your healing arsenal.